So, you know what I mean, I come up with an idea as opposing to just rapping, which is not an authentic Jamaican thing. Let me try and merge it. So I'm trying to merge like the rapping with dancehall.
Me never go round me mother teaching, cause she never fail me. She say, no put no woman pon your head. No put no woman pon your head.
Yes, welcome to the journey. You don't know Chavez Bridge Boys, and we bring to you a legend.
Chino!
Oh gosh, man. Just the presence, you know?
Yes,
presence. Oh, go on, everything good?
Yeah, man, everything is great.
Good for seeing living color and everything, you know.
Give thanks.
Yeah, man, which is right.
Give thanks.
Welcome to the journey. We have a thing where we kind of like to dive a little bit deeper, right? Roots, right? How it all started for you, like from a baby stage, tiny talk. What was like your first memory of music, of, you know?
That is a difficult question for me to answer because my life has been literally surrounded by music, like literally from birth. I'm born in music. So I'm born with the awareness of my father as I established.
Okay, so he was already established when you were born?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So
long established. So yeah, I mean, from a young age, just always been around the music. You know, just being in the studios with my father, being, you know what I mean, backstage, you know what I mean, at shows with my father, being on tour, you know what I mean, from a younger age, you know what I mean, even there are a lot of moments where I would skip days and even weeks from school, you know what I mean, being on tour with my father to see him, you know what I mean, places like the States, of course, UK, Europe, Japan, all these places, you know what I mean, so music.
So you feel like you was destined to do music, or?
The funny thing is, I always had the genuine love for music, but I didn't see myself being an artist.
Okay.
I mean, I know, you know what I mean, I was interested in doing something where music is concerned, but being an artist, that was a no-no for me. Because I'm a natural personality, you know what I mean, I'm somewhat reserved, even now.
Okay.
You know what I mean, like, I don't really like too much unwanted attention, like, you know what I mean, excitement, and, you know what I mean. So I didn't see myself as a person in the forefront performing to thousands of people, and, you know what I mean, cameras constantly in my face and all of that. But, you know, the inevitable happened, and
it just, you know, vibes.
Nature took its course.
So question, you say you grew up with your dad and thing, and he was a belong established artist, big artist, you know what I mean? Were you like, was he grooming you into that position? Like,
so it wasn't a case where he forced us or pushed us to do music. When I say us, I speak for myself and my siblings.
Okay.
My musical siblings, right? My older sister, Shima, her mom is also Judy Mott. So, you know, she have it on both sides. So she was the first one out of all of us that actually pursued music professionally. You know what I mean? She's a professional keyboardist, and, you know what I mean, she do a lot of background vocal work for, you know what I mean, her mom, and, you know what I mean, my father too also, and, you know what I mean, a lot of stuff as it relates to her solo career. You understand? But again, it wasn't a forced situation. It was a situation where, okay, the platform is there. So, you know what I mean, if we ever wanted to pursue music, the platform is there. My father built the studio at the house, I would say probably around 95.
Okay.
Yeah, the home studio, which we all now know as Big Ship Recording Studio. So yeah, he built the studio for his personal use, and, you know what I mean,
just in there and
for, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, and for him peers too.
Okay.
You understand? And again, with the intention, if we ever, you know, showed interest or wanted to become interested in music, then we have that there. You know what I mean? So just being in studio now, that within itself it's somewhat like a school or a university, because we soak up everything like sponge. We observe, watch the musicians, watch the greats coming in and working on, you know what I mean? That is where we hone our skills.
What was one of your a memory that stand out from youth stage, baby stage, that you say, wow, this really, hold me away? Maybe it was a big artist you never did see before, come link your father or something like. What was an iconic moment,
again,
a good memory?
To be honest, to be completely honest, I don't think there's any wow moment with any artist because I literally grew up around my father and the greats. You understand? You have people like Dennis Brown, who is, you know what I mean,
Yep.
the general, the crown prince. He was like a family, like Uncle Dennis. So we literally born and grew, you know what I mean, being close to those people and all the greats, you know what I mean, and the level where my father is. You understand? So, yeah, we pretty much grew up around all of them. So there was no wow moment.
Copy, because it was like normal to you.
Yeah.
Which part you go to school?
Vast Prep.
Vast Prep?
No, I started at Sodomere Prep, then went to Vast Prep, then went to Woolmers.
Enough for cut it. You know what's alright, Vast Prep, right? Growing up, we used to go Mavisville. That was like our rival.
Right down the road.
I said, right. That was like our rival. So it's like, they bring back to some days, man, and colours and them something there. You know, so big up for that.
We used to take the school bus of Vast Prep and them used to stop or pass through Mavisville too.
Alright. See there? So in and Woolmers, me come from a place called Almantown.
Alright.
Right? I know say Woolmers there, right? Right, pan the Morrisca Road there, so you get me? So how was that? Were you a popular kid in school? Like were you known as your father's son in school, or were you known say, yo, that's a McGrego, or get special treatment? You can't talk.
No, it's not special. No. It's not really a special treatment thing. Like, some people know and know say, yo, you know what I mean, at Freddie Youth or Freddie Youth them, man. But as I said, my personality, kind of reserve and, you know what I mean, laid back. I'm not the one where, you know what I mean, in a bag of excitement and, yo, I'm to, I mean, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, I just reserve and keep to my circle of friend them. You understand? We shouldn't really have said this on camera, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's at the bridge now, it's a part of your journey, so.
The further, you know what I mean, the latter years of high school, you know, we skull school only, but, you know, with the next door over the lane, me and my friend them, man. But that was even a musical experience because, you know what I mean, that's how we have build song now and, you know what I mean, we are create.
So the artist thing really take off in high school, like?
So prior to the whole artist thing now, me and a group of friends who started a sound system.
Okay.
Omega Disco, and you know what I mean, I was a DJ.
A DJ, okay.
A selector for the sound, and actually I give thanks for that experience too, because that even from an early age that helped teach me, like, you know what I mean, help me with performance, you know what I mean, show you how to read crowd and you know what I mean, things like those, and even expand my musical knowledge.
Yeah, like broaden your horizon, you have to know more than one artist.
Every weekend, you know what I mean, you save up your lunch money and you have to literally go to the record store. Them at that time it was still records. So every weekend, you know, you save up your lunch money and you go to the record store, them the Aquarius, them the Shelley Power, them the this, the that, and you know what I mean, you buy the newest records and you know what I mean.
So you usually play sound and them thing there and mix and okay.
In a real life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Well, one of your big tunes where you pull up, like where you know say when you're back in your DJing days, when you drop that, a problem.
The medley where Renaissance make with Bounty Killer, Poor People Fell Up.
Trouble.
Yeah, man, that was definitely one of them. I mean, I don't know, in that time to have, you know what I mean, Scare Them Crew was a big deal too, Mansa Shock was a big deal too. So, you know what I mean, that was a serious...
Anything over our side, a problem.
Yeah, and of course, you know, anything over Madhouse, Dave Kelly's side too, you know what I mean, a problem to same way.
So, we know you do some DJing and things like that. Cause we know say father did have the studio, right? So, you have any experience in like where you in, cause we know say your brother, right? The producer, right? You have any experience in also playing some instruments and stuff like that? Come on, say you do a local production as well, right?
Yeah, I do. I play that's how I started.
Okay.
Playing instruments and making beats. With making beats, how I actually started was actually like mimicking beats. So I hear something like I would just, for my personal knowledge, just recreate that from scratch. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a fancy setup, no fancy drum machine. It was just a little keyboard, you know what I mean, player. But, you know what I mean, that's where that started for me. Eventually, you know what I mean, I learned instruments, guitar and keyboard and all of that. You know what I mean? All self-taught too.
All self-taught. Whoa.
Yeah.
What comes first? The production, your lyrics, or what's your creative process? Seeing that you have a different spin on it, that you also can construct the rhythm. Like when you're in your lab, where you say, alright, you make a beat first, or you say, you know, I have an idea for a tune, and then make the beat towards it.
Alright, so as far as production is concerned, you know what I mean, my focus mainly on the lyrics and recording. So I mostly work close with other producers and musicians.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I would input or co-produce.
Copy.
You understand? But my main thing is, so as far as the process, it varies. There's not really a set process where I say, well, you know what I mean, write first or, you know what I mean? In most cases, the beat is there first and the beat kind of tell me where to go with it. You understand? I don't physically...
Okay, so you listen to the beat, you make the beat first.
I don't physically write on pen and paper. I used to, but I don't for, you know what I mean, whole heap of years. So the go-to process is, you know what I mean, via the beat tell me what direction to go with it. We'll probably come up with lyrics first, or melodies first, or both. You know what I mean? I'd get some ideas, then go down in the booth, you know what I mean, put down probably like 4 or 8 bars, whatever it is, meds it again, and you know what I mean, do the same thing.
In a high school, right? When did you say, alright, and music it there, you know, and you do your sound system, and when you make up your mind, say your music, artist thing.
Alright, so watch this now. So we're talking about 90s, right? So you know, in the 90s, hip hop was huge.
Yeah.
In Jamaica too. Big deal. You see me, where everybody have cable and time, they have the rap city them and
Till now, yeah.
all of that. Right? So as myself, I'm never sure what more want to do musically as a, you know what I mean, as an artist. But I find myself writing a lot. Seeing someone else write. So there was a producer at our studio named Barry Clark, big up Barry Clark, right? And I was just there as, you know, I'm like apprentice. You know what I mean, after school, I was there and I was just in the studio with him, you know what I mean, run off the tape for him, and you know what I mean? All of them things there. So there, he was recording a singer called Brian, which his professional name is now Maurice Gregory. He's actually the brother of Papa Sam, bad singer. So him do this track now, and you know the producer was like, yo, you know, with a bad another 8 bar if a rapper, you know what I mean, they drop something in that 8 bar. So me with my little presumptuous self now, me I say, yo, someone can do it too, man. I say, yeah, alright, go on. You know what I mean? And that was the first.
Okay, and I just say again,
and that was me as a rapper.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So that's where I went under the name Cappuccino. That was actually my that was actually my DJ name.
Cappuccino,
from the sound system time. See? So it went from selector to writing to now me turn this rapper. See? So, you know what I mean, recording, and I say, okay, yeah, this, you know what I mean, this look like, you know, this have potential, so we kept recording, and, you know what I mean, that's where I practice, and, you know what I mean, I figure out trial and error, you know, all of that. Boom, 1999, Stone Cold label and Gary G, big them up, them forward at the studio with a rhythm, named Rhythm of the Night. Seeing? And then this new Sing J found in the studio now, Kiprich at the time. You know what I mean? And link up. You don't know, really recognize, really respect each other and each other talent too. And go say, yo, we need to do a song together. I say, yeah man, you know what I mean? And here comes the rhythm, man. You know what I mean? We do something on the rhythm. And the song come out named Lego the Boy. And that was my first hit song.
Wow.
#1 song. And I'm still in high school.
Really?
Yeah. That was like my last year in high school. So here
Teacher couldn't tell you no.
but that was a funny thing. Again, my natural personality.
Oh, okay.
So here I am with a #1 song. Enough people don't know say me an artist.
Get out of here.
Yeah, because again, me and the youth for walk around and I want to know me name Ray Tay. You know what I mean? And my style that if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
True.
You get what I say? So first #1, 99. Prior to that now, after that now, start spending a lot of time in the States, in Florida.
Okay.
You know,
So you migrate after high school?
No, I never really migrate.
Oh, okay.
Back and forth,
Back
spending
and
a
forth,
lot of
back
time.
and forth. Okay.
You know, I mean, them time the school thing done with that.
Oh, okay.
All of that. You understand, Stephen? Backtrack a little bit. Stephen started first as an artist.
Oh, really?
Enough people don't know that. He was a DJ from age 7. Isn't it? They talk a lockdown Japan and them places from them time. You see me? But his comfort zone was more behind the scenes. So eventually, you know what I mean, his comfort zone was producing. But him start out as an artist first. So when you hear a lot of the songs where him produce, or even the songs where him sing and people, yo, him body as an artist, them not understand say, yo, he was an artist first.
Yeah. Maybe that's what make him so good as a producer.
Alright.
You can see it from the artist's point of view.
Alright, so fast forward to the topic now. So we're both in Florida, spend a lot of time there, and you know what I mean, Stephen, you know, I figure out production thing, and him is a man where, you know, typical youth, typical teenagers or young youths, you don't know when them get them money, first thing they want to do, or they want to buy a game, or they want to buy clothes, or the newest sneakers.
Actually, yeah.
Stephen from, him was a young youth, him was always, like any money him have, him invest in equipment and sounds and all of them things from a little youth. So when you hear his productions, it makes sense. Quality, because him invests heavily in sounds and equipments and instruments and all of that. See? So yeah, we're there in Florida, and you know what I mean, we figure it out. While figuring it out, you know what I mean, I evolve my style too. Because you know what I mean, I'm still trying to find myself and my true sound. I don't find it yet, I'm still figure it out. So you know what I mean, I come up with an idea as opposing to just rapping, which is not an authentic Jamaican thing. Let me try and merge it. So I'm trying to merge like the rapping with dancehall. See? Eventually I got in a situation with Slip and Slide Records. That's a label that Trick Daddy did own. You understand? Under that umbrella you'd have like Rick Ross, them, and
Miami based too.
Trina, them, that kind of style. So, you know what I mean, do a whole heap of recording with them and thing, and you know, eventually I kind of dipped from that situation because it wasn't where I wanted to be. Like musically, it wasn't, you know, for them thing, the whole dirty soul. You know what I mean? My thing from the jump, but always, I love deep lyricism and storytelling. You understand? I'm not like the punchline. You know what I mean?
You paint a picture.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean, eventually, you know what I mean, we kind of drift from that situation, and, you know what I mean, we go back, no, before we reach Jamaica now. So we're in a Florida now, and my father have a brethren in Florida, see, named Homer. Homer run a clothing line that we all know as Kuya. So during that time, we come up with a lyrics, a song named High grade and roots in a me system. Kuya shirt, red, green, gold wristband. Boy can't fist, don't fist this man. This man is unstoppable. Just make a note of that, right? Freeze that. So, boom, I forward back at Jamaica now and I spend time at Jamaica, and you know what I mean? Steve not that. You know what I mean?
Better and better and better.
Yeah,
and better,
full
better.
force now, dancehall, and going a dancehall, you know what I mean? Drop a rhythm name, Dutch Master. You know what I mean? Have like Fambo on it and Davil at the time did super hot, and you know what I mean? Couple other artists. You know what I mean? Get couple play, you know what I mean? But it wasn't a huge hit. Boom. So I'm follow that now with a rhythm name Cartoon. See? And you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was on it, of course, you know what I mean? The artists then within the label, you know what I mean? Till couple. Big up Kurt Riley. See? Kurt Riley now heard the rhythm. Bear in mind, we don't know Kurt from nowhere. Kurt don't know we from nowhere. Him just hear the rhythm and just love it. Love it so much that him take time out and prime time slot on radio, and before even any song start, record on the rhythm. Him will dedicate like 15 minutes out time in radio slot and just play the rhythm.
Yeah?
Just the instrumental before any song mix already on the rhythm, and him will remix some other songs on the rhythm.
Okay.
You understand? Till, you know what I mean, the following week, like 2 or 3 artists, 3 more artists record on the rhythm. You know what I mean? He will take them songs, they mix them in the following week more. You know what I mean? So everybody start to hear about this cartoon rhythm now, and everybody want B-side. So that's how that rhythm blow up, and that's when the buzz now people start focus on yo, Stephen, the genius, yo, that you tell. You know what I mean?
No, something.
Cartoon rhythm. At the same time he was working on cartoon rhythm, he was working on a one drop rhythm called 1-2. See, and you know what I mean, myself of course, my father was on it, you have, I think Marcia Griffiths was on it, you have like T.O.K. them on it. It was a nice juggling. See, so now Nico Bam Bam, formerly of Stone Love, you know what I mean, he lived close to the studio. So you know, it was always a close link, we always keep the link. So him bring a brethren of his around the studio, which is Delhi Ranks, see, with the hopes of getting him to record and cartoon with him, because at this point, everybody who know already dep on it, want piece of this with him. So I said, alright, yeah, no, nothing cool, you know what I mean? Voice him on it and backtrack a little bit. Prior to that, with the whole connection with Kurt Riley recorded me on a rhythm that he had, a one drop rhythm named The Ruler. See? Record a song named For the Girl Them Straight, a one drop song. Right? So yeah, so when Nico bring Delhi round now, you know, Delhi approached me, you know what I mean, like as a fan, like, yo, yeah man, you sing the song from Kurt Riley rhythm, Girl Them Straight, you know what I mean? Yo, you know what I mean, we could do something one at a time, yeah. See, boom, so, you know, my record, and yeah, I keep the link, and you know, Stephen record him on other rhythms and thing, and then he approached Stephen with the idea that he wanted Stephen to build a rhythm for him to produce. Yeah. Right? Him already have the idea, the name for the rhythm. He wanted name Redbull and Guinness. You know what I mean? That's based on a mixture.
Sure, the liquor,
Redbull and Guinness.
yeah.
See? So cool. Stephen, as I say, him have him sound them, load up him sound them, boom, 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 build him rhythm in no time. Redbull and Guinness. So we know the studio, the rhythm I build, and remember the same song I'm tell them I build at Miami.
Yeah.
So rhythm name Redbull and Guinness. So I'm flip around the lyrics. So some sisters of mine, they had this clothing line they were, you know what I mean, starting called Bingy. So of course, me dance it, I'm a flip around the lyrics. So it's Redbull and Guinness in my system, Bingy shirt, red, green, gold wristband, boy can't fist, thump fist, you see me?
Yeah.
And Delhi hear it and say, yo, this body, yo, me and you for do that song, sure, no problem. You know what I mean, we do the song, no brainer, hit.
Hit.
And the rhythm hit, and you know what I mean, just a domino effect from this. So, you know what I mean, that's how people you know, really start gravitate to the Chino sound now, and you know what I mean? But sound undeniable, like you know, you hear me, you know, say a Chino.
They say find your sound, you know,
you know, sound like a boy, and a boy don't sound like me. You get the way I say? So that is where people start gravitate to that now, and you know what I mean? The songs just keep rolling out from there, so you know what I mean? So Quad nightclub was one of the hot spots in Jamaica, right?
Yep.
Yeah. ZJ Liquid was the one of the resident DJs there. He play every Wednesday. See? Because the whole campaign route on a Wednesday night was you leave from Weddy, you go a Quad. The Wednesday, leave from Quad, you go a Passa.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the campaign route.
I remember those days when you'd have a party trail.
Alright, so you know what I mean, and a Liquid response for that, and you know what I mean, Liquid at the man really. In response to Redbull and Guinness, especially in other club they are as it relates to the street, you know what I mean? So this was somewhere around the Christmas time now, you know, the Redbull and Guinness blow up on the whole thing, and I said to Stephen, yo, Quad of fire, we need a anthem for the club.
Club banger.
You see me? We need an anthem song for the club. But we want the rhythm of the same groove like Redbull and Guinness. So me and him alone at the studio, you know what I mean? Build the rhythm, man. You know what I mean? While I build the rhythm, I come up with the idea. In the club. In the club. You know what I mean? And you know, build it out and record it in the club. See? Get Liquid start play it. You know what I mean? Him love it, him endorse it. And I say, oh, alright. Do the dub film, custom. You know what I mean? Then him start play it on radio. You know what I mean? And it become like an anthem song till I eventually do it as an anthem for Zip to and everybody. And you know what I mean? Till it reach a point where Stephen say, yo, if you want the rhythm, you can produce the rhythm. You know? You can have it. And you know what I mean? So that is our 12 gauge rhythm.
Copy. Yeah, I bring me back right now and I like a memory lane. Like, I swear you're sprinkling some treasures right now. For me growing up right now, it's like, okay, it's like, jeez man, continue.
So that is how we got 12 gauge rhythm. You understand? Me come up with the idea for 12 gauge rhythm, not knowing that it would eventually lead to 12 gauge rhythm, and appear big song upon it. You have Mavado, you have Cartel, you have Killer, Idonia, you name it, you understand? Bad rhythm, man. Yeah, just hits after hits from there. Hits after hits from there.
You know what interesting, something what you say? Is you started out as a rapper. Right? Like I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Or who are some of the rappers them that you look up to?
The lyricists them and the storyteller them.
Copy.
So the Biggies, Pac too, but you know what I mean, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z of course, you know what I mean, the Wu-Tangs and the Outkast them, and you know what I mean, that's the lyricist them and the storyteller them.
Copy. Other than that, who was the other inspiration in Jamaican music?
As the Cabras, the Bojos, you know what I mean, all of these great people, and not just dancer. You understand? Of course, we're influenced by the reggae greats, to the Bobs, the Dennis Browns, my father, of course, Berryses, the Gregories, the John Woods, all of them people. You know what I mean? Even from other genres like Michael Jackson's and Stevie Wonders and all of these people. So, which is what really make my style, if you really dissect my style is a melting pot of all of my influences. So if you listen my style, you'll hear influence of hip-hop as far as lyricism and the delivery. You understand? The delivery is like hip-hop. But at the same time, you're going to hear enough melodies in my song, which that influence come from reggae or the R&B or the soul and the old school. You hear enough harmonies in even at the most hardcore song, them you gotta hear harmonies and them thing. So it's a melting pot of everything put together.
You have whole heap looking, but I thinking about your talk, and as you're talking, it's like you're painting a picture, right? And in my mind, it's a roll and like you have some anthems like I just want to ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Out of all of your projects out of all the things there, what's one of your favorite? One of your favorite?
My favorite?
Not say your favorite, because it's like picking a child, right? But
what you mean,
you
like,
know, say like probably one of your song them or a project you did the work on or something like that, where you say, alright, me playing on my car, I love this. You know what I mean?
That is the thing. I am not that kind of artist where as you jump on my car, you're going to hear me play Chino all day, every day. I don't do it. You know what I mean? Because I always look for influence.
Which is right.
You know what I mean? So I always listen to other things. You know what I mean? And what I listen to is not necessarily dancehall or reggae either.
Okay, well you normally listen to
you get to me, I say, but for go back to the question where you asked me, like my standout tracks from man is definitely
Anthem.
I would say one of, if not my biggest song ever. You know what I mean? Worldwide. See? Yeah, that's
motivation.
That's what people always classify as my pension song. Because you know what I mean, today in 2021,
anyway,
you know what I mean, there's still demand. Every time me in a dub plate session, me have to sing from morning. You know what I mean? On stage, me have to sing it and me I get the same response as when it just came out. You know what I mean? They have songs like Protected, we have the same impact there too.
Yep.
You know, Woman by your head, Rough It Up.
One of my favorite.
Them
Bring it,
songs
come,
they
let me rough it up. You get me? Yeah, man, can't tell countless of time, man. Like,
You know,
that depend on level, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, outside of that, that's the body of work. I have 3 official albums to date. And recently, my EP series, 3 EPs.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that now.
Which one?
The EP series.
Alright, so the EP series I released since 2020. So it basically started, my last album, full-length album was 2011. That was a Chino album, self-titled album. So I had all these songs piling up. I started off January 2020 with a song named The Process. If last year never work out, this year I go work out for you. And I think the rhythm is called World Rocking Rhythm. Alright? So I released that, and then a bunch of other singles came out right after that. Seeing? And then, you know, so I figured, say, boy, alright, yeah, it's full time for another full-length album.
Sure.
Boom, pandemic reach, lockdown go and all of that. But at this point, I'm already in an album mode. So I was figuring, alright, as opposing to just drop a full album, which my typical format for releasing albums was to just compile all the different elements. So you'd have like girl songs, reality songs, some up-tempo songs, hardcore songs,
Everybody gets something.
all of that compressed in a one album. So my thought process was, alright, as opposing to doing that, why don't I just split it into different categories? You know what I mean? And make it easier for digestible, because we're in a time now where everybody's attention span is short.
Limited.
So I came up with the idea to break it down into 3 EPs as opposed to one full-length album. So I started November 2020 with the first volume, The Process, Volume 1, subtitle, Lyrics Over Gimmicks. So 7 tracks, and as the subtitle said, that just emphasize on lyricism. And I mean, you know, especially during that time we hear the cry within the space, you know what I mean, people are saying, yo, too much gimmicks songs, we need back some more solid content. So, you know what I mean, the timing was perfect for that too. And then the following month now, November, I released Volume 2, subtitled Girl Factory. You know what I mean? So that one is tailored towards my female audience. 7 tracks, straight girl song. See? And then now in February, I released the 3rd installment, Volume 3, Rhythm Rider Style. 7 tracks. Roots rock reggae, lovers rock reggae, just straight reggae, authentic reggae, 100%. And yeah, it's been doing great so far. I can't lie.
Yeah, man. And the thing about you have stayed consistent. We got a quick little story, you know, for I was in Europe, right?
Yeah.
And I'm in Europe, and then Chino come on.
Which part of Europe?
Problem. It's in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Problem. When they talk about word for word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel like other nations, Europe, the Australia, you feel like them have a greater appreciation for substance and music than
unfortunately, yeah.
Right?
My biggest market is in Japan.
Wow.
As in that's actually where I release 2 albums there exclusively. You know what I mean? And my albums actually sell there, like people spend them. The thing with Jamaicans, you know what I mean? We love the music and we love our artists them, but we don't. Like with our support is, man, I'm an artist, mad thing, big up. You know what I mean? People in other countries, they show the support by actually spending money and buying the albums, or buying the singles, or buying the merchandise, or spending money to attend the stage shows. You know what I mean? We as Jamaicans, even right here in the States now, like, you know what I mean, an artist have a show around the road now. We as Jamaicans, rather than support it, we're going to find a link to a man, forget a link to the artist, forget for coming free, even when you can't afford it.
Yep.
You get to me, I say? And outside of that, like, you know, other nations and countries like the same Japan and Europe and especially UK, you know what I mean, if you ask the average 20-plus-year-old youth about the history of the music, like them can break down the whole history from start to ending pan Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, them pan Shabba, them can them break. If you ask the average 20, even 30-plus-year-old from Jamaica now, them are gonna struggle for name you 4 Dennis Brown song or 4 Gregory, and these are the people who, you know what I mean, the column them will set the foundation for all of it. So saying that for say, you know what I mean, that is a sad situation, you know what I mean, because we in Jamaica where the music is created, we don't appreciate it as much as other countries out there.
Them come and see it and have the love for it, and I feel like a lot of the new artists they would rather hype over like a month, like I say, a pension. You know what I'm saying? They rather
then in all fairness, you can't blame them neither.
Yeah.
Because you know the saying that children live where them learn. I don't think Jamaica itself is doing a good job of preserving the legacy and teaching the younger youth them or the younger set of artists them. So them have to work off of where them sit in front of them. You get to me, I say? The average Yankee youth can give the history on the old school rapper them and the old school R&B artists them.
Yeah.
Because the education is there, the media, you know what I mean? As much as the new thing them are going and make sure them take time out for, you know what I mean, educate them on what was before. Yeah. We don't do that in Jamaica. If we go the average dance we go right now, you can't shut your eye and know where it plays the same playlist, the same set of current song them over and over. So how the youth them are going to learn or know, like give thanks for who willing to spend the time and go up on YouTube and research or Google or whatever and research. But you know what I mean, what about the average youth them where you know what I mean, I see the need to take the time to do that. So we have a lot of work to do as far as Jamaica is concerned.
Chino, outside of music, who's Chino like? What you do for fun, like? You know what I mean? Like, what you do for fun?
Simplicity, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm one of the simplest person. I like simple things, I like quiet time.
Okay.
I like cook.
What they on the menu? What they on the menu? Say, let's paint a picture. Let's say you're there woman thing, and let's just pay that you're having some female company or something, right? What are they on the menu?
I don't know, probably a nice curry coconut salmon.
Yeah. Let's stop this up. It done this up. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean, with some okra boiled long night to and well spicy and peppery. You know the style?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You into sports?
No, I'm not a sports person like that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you'll catch me, I pay attention to like highlights and things, but I'm not an avid like, you know what I mean, I gotta watch out the whole season now.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't mean that.
What about fashion?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Okay, you know,
Because fashion go with entertainment
right.
and it go with music. So that's a given.
Yeah, man. So which is right, man. So as she is like, you don't know right now. I mean, just like glad bag boss. If I hear but just sit down with someone where idolize growing up, listen to. And for play, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean.
Old,
yo,
brother,
no man. But that's a, you get what I'm saying. But we just to show you how consistent you have remained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man,
big up for that, man.
No, I really appreciate it because, you know what I mean, sometimes, you know, you're just doing music because you love it and you're doing it, and you don't realize how much years pass by. And as I say, like the From Mornings and Protected and all of those songs, like, you know what I mean, it's amazing when you think back and realize that these songs are over a decade years old and they're still relevant. Yep. Like at any given moment, any selector can drop them song in a dance, them get equal or bigger forward than the newest, hottest songs.
Yep.
You get to me, I say, any stage show I go up on, I can still start the song and stretch out the mic and the audience can sing out the rest of the song in entirety. You get to me, I say there's still demand for those songs. So that, you know what I mean, is an indication, say, obviously I must be doing the right thing.
We know the
because
business.
a lot of songs, especially in our space, you know what I mean, them don't last further than like 6 months.
Exactly. And look if them get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know the business come with a whole heap of things, right? A whole heap of negatives and a whole heap of stuff. What's your favorite thing about the music and DJing and singing and
the favorite
thing about it?
I actually love traveling and touring and, you know, just seeing different cultures and seeing how our music impact other people out there. You know what I mean? Last time I performed in Japan, I went there as a headliner on Mighty Crown and Big Festival.
Is Japan your favorite place? Other than Jamaica to go?
Yes, definitely one of, if not my favorite place. So I was a headliner there. So think about this, think about a reggae show, a reggae festival. We start from like 10 o'clock in the morning and done like midnight. That's a reggae show and I am the only Jamaican on the bill.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
So that means you have Japanese reggae artists, you have Japanese dancehall artists, you have Japanese selector, and the RAM we're talking over 40,000 people.
Wow.
But the point I make is, you know what I mean, just a joy just performing on festivals like that and just seeing everybody, you know what I mean, that's a 14-hour flight away from home and watching everybody singing every line of every song word for word, even though they don't speak the same language. You know, that within itself is powerful and show you the power of the music.
One of them times where we feel like we could have make time and time could have run on forever. But you know what I mean, them say all good things must, you know, jeez man, it just, as I say.
Already?
Might have to be a part two. You know what I say? But anything you want to say to the people then before we leave off or anything like that?
Trust the process. You know what I mean? The Process EP series. It's out there, available on all digital platforms. You know what I mean? So make sure you go out there and buy it, stream it, download it, etc. You understand? Yeah. Look out, listen out. You know what I mean? Enough new music, enough visuals too. Check out Chino McGrego Vivo for all the visuals.
Maybe the bridge can contribute a little bit to the visuals, yeah?
Alright, here we go.
We'll talk about it. Stay tuned to see where I go on. It's the journey. Chino, legend. Boom, we'll see you again.
Respect.
Then if me rich tomorrow, all of my friends them a fi alright. If me make it a money, every one of them a fi